Okay everyone, it's time for order of operations. What's that? That's the correct order you do math in, right? You gotta do math in the correct order or you're gonna get the wrong answer. Just like when you open your lock at your locker, you gotta turn things in the right order, otherwise it doesn't open. So what's the correct order for math? Well, we almost always use the word BEDMAS to memorize this. The first thing you should be doing is dealing with brackets. The second thing you should be doing, exponents. Hey, exponents, that's what we've just been talking about. No wonder this just showed up, because you're going to use order of operations, or BEDMAS, and we're going to use exponents. Third, division, then multiplication, then addition, and then subtraction. But here's the thing, with the with the division and multiplication, I usually draw this this little kind of parentheses here, a brace or whatever it's called. I need to show you that with division and multiplication, it's not necessarily that you divide first. You go from left to right. So if you had a question like 3 times 6 divided by 2, the correct order to do this is not to do division before multiplication. It's actually to go from left to right. So you would do 3 times 6, which is 18, and then divide by 2. Now in this case, it wouldn't make any difference. If you check it out, it won't make a difference, but in some questions it will. Same with addition and subtraction. If you have 4 minus 2 plus 3, you don't do 2 plus 3 first and then go 4 minus 5. That'll give you the wrong answer. You actually go from left to right. Subtraction and addition are kind of equal to each other. Go left to right. 4 minus 2 is 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, so that is order of operations or BEDMAS, and now we're just going to do a bunch of questions. Now, my hint or my request, my plea with you, show all your steps and go down the page. Work down the page. Don't work off to the right here. Work down the page. So, BEDMAS, the first thing we do is look for B, brackets. We don't have any. The next thing we do is we look for exponents, and I do have an exponent. It's right here. So that's what I'm going to do first. So 2 cubed, that means 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So I'm going to go 8, and I'm just going to rewrite everything again. I know it takes a little bit of time, but you're going to get the answer right if you do this. Okay, what do we have next? We have an addition and we have a multiplication. What should you do first? You should do the multiplication first. You should be doing 2 times 3 next. So I'm going to rewrite the 8 again, and I'm going to go 2 times 3, which is 6, and finally I can do my 8 plus 6, which is 14. That's the correct answer. If you did 8 plus 2 up here first and got 10, then multiplied by 3 and got 30, you got it wrong. You have to do it in the right order. All right, next one. First thing we look for is brackets, and we do have brackets, so we're going to do this first, the part in the brackets. So I'm going to rewrite the 6 minus 2 plus 3 is 5. I'm going to keep it in brackets and then squared. Okay, I have a takeaway sign and I have a squared here. What should you do first? You should do the exponents. So this squared here only refers to the 5. So I have 5 squared, or 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. So I still have the 6, I still have the minus, but 5 squared is 25. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a negative answer. Remember how to do this? Well, you do it whichever way you want to do it. The answer is negative 19. I'll just tell you, we'll talk about this in a later chapter, even though you've done it before. When we're subtracting and we're going into the negatives, I like to add the opposite. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll show it to you in another chapter or two. Anyway, whichever way you do it, negative 19 should be your answer. Oh, wow, look at this one. So the first thing we do is brackets. Well, we have brackets here and we also have brackets here. Now here's the thing. In the brackets, you also have to follow BEDMAS. So in this first bracket, we have a subtraction step and we have a multiplication step. What happens first? Multiplication. So I'm going to rewrite the 3. I'm going to rewrite the minus. And then I have 2 times 4, which is 8. That's going to be squared eventually. Minus. Okay, in this bracket here, I also have an exponent, so I should do that first. So I'm going to have 3 plus 6 squared. That's 6 times 6, which is 36, and it's over 2. That means divided by 2, right? All right, let's go back and look at the first bracket. I can do this now. 3 minus 8, I can do that. Oh, no, again, into the negatives. It's going to give you negative 5 when you go 3 minus 8. Squared, take away, leave the 3, plus, oh, okay, what should I do first? This plus here or this divided there? You should be dividing first. So 36 divided by 2, use your calculator if you want, it equals 18. All right, brackets. We still have brackets. Is there anything to do in this bracket? No, there's not. So you could probably do this step if you want, but I'll just rewrite it. Minus. You can definitely do this bracket. 3 plus 18, 21. Okay, now we can do this exponent. Negative 5 squared. Now, this whole negative 5 is in brackets. So that means negative 5 times negative 5. A negative times a negative is a positive. So this should actually be positive 25 minus the 21. And if you go 25 minus 21, you get 4. These are difficult questions, people. Show your work. If you just try to get this in one step, it's going to be a disaster, I promise you. Okay, the next one. Do we have a bracket? Yeah, we do. What do we do first in the bracket? We do the exponents. We have two of them. We have 3 to the 4th power. Well, that means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Remember, we did this before. You can go 3 times 3 and also 3 times 3 and then multiply those answers together. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. You don't have to do it that way, but it is one way to do it. Minus 2 cubed. I think we did that already. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Oh my gosh, this is going to be an outrageous answer. Squared. We still have the squared. So the next thing to do is finish off the brackets by subtracting. 81 minus 8 is 73. And we're going to square that. Who came up with this question? Terrible. We have to square 73. We have to go 73 times 73. That sound you hear is the sound of me pulling out my calculator. The answer is 5,329. All done. All right, this one looks easy, but if I had to bet which one people would make the most mistakes, it would be this one. Do you know why? Because of this right here. It's that number one mistake in high school math. A lot of people would go negative 5 times negative 5 equals positive 25. No, this squared here, you do have to deal with that squared first. It only refers to the 5. This negative is a slapping on negative. Remember this from last time? So you have 5 squared, which is 25, and then you slap on that negative. Takeaway. 3 to the 0 power. This would also confuse a lot of people. They'd put 0 here. But remember, anything to the 0 power equals 1. And now you have to go negative 25, take away 1. Again, if you like to do it my way, I add the opposite. So I have negative 25 plus negative 1. You don't have to do it that way as long as you get the right answer, which is negative 26. Okay, we're whipping along here. Do we have brackets? Yes, we do, right there. So why don't we do that first? 5 take away 6. Wow, I sure like the negatives. 5 take away 6 is negative 1. That's still to the 4th power. I could do some of these other steps, but we'll do them all at once. We'll do all the exponents now. So first step here. Negative 1 to the 4th power. That means negative, this is all in brackets, right? That negative 1. So it's negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. There's 4 of them. Is it going to be positive or negative? It's going to be positive. And 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. So positive 1 plus 2 cubed. I think we've done this 3 times now. 2 cubed, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 to the 1st power on the bottom there. Anything to the 1st power just equals itself. So you get 3. Okay, now here is one step where it seems like it violates BEDMAS because you have an addition step and you have a division step. And it seems like you should divide first. But you can't really divide right now. It doesn't make sense. If you have it written in this way, it's kind of like there's invisible brackets around the top here. Right? You can't see them, but it's kind of like there's brackets around the top. You have to do the top here before you divide. So 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. And that's your answer. Okay, they just keep getting more and more ridiculous. Look at this one. Do we have brackets? Yes, we do, right here. So let's do that first. I keep the 8 plus 2 times 5 is 10 times 3 to the 4th divided by 9. Okay, so we did our brackets. I'm just going to write BEDMAS here to help me out. We did our brackets. Do we have exponents? Yes, we have one exponent here. So I'm going to do this next. I'm just going to rewrite everything else. 8 plus 10 times 3 to the 4th. Hey, remember we did that one up here. It was our 3 times 3 times 3. We got 81 when we did that. So 81 for 3 to the 4th, and then divided by 9. Okay, so we've done brackets, we've done exponents. Next we want to do division and multiplication, and we want to go from left to right. So this is important. A lot of people see this 81 divided by 9, and they get all excited. Hey, I can do that right there. No, you should be doing this first, right? That multiplication comes before that division. So I have 8 plus 10 times 81 is 810, and then I'm going to divide it by 9. What do you do next? Now you should be doing the division. Don't add yet. That's going to be the last thing you do. So I have 8 plus 810 divided by 9 is 90. And 8 plus 90 is 98. Last one. Do we have brackets? We do. In fact, we have brackets inside of brackets. Do you see right here? You have double brackets. Start with the innermost brackets. So that's where you should be starting right there. Now again, I could probably do some other steps along the way, but just to do one step at a time, you don't have to do one step at a time if you don't want, but don't do too many at a time or you're liable to get them wrong. So in this bracket, what's the first thing I should do? The exponent. So 3 squared is 9, and I still have plus 2. I know you would have done that in one step. You would have done a bunch of stuff in one step. But I'm just going to keep doing this a little bit at a time. What the heck? Let's deal with this first part here. So let's deal with this bracket and this bracket next. So 16 divided by 4 is 4, and that's still going to be squared, plus, in double brackets, 9 plus 2. Well, that's 11, plus, and I'll keep that for now. Okay, now we're going to deal with exponents. So we have this and we have this. 4 squared is 16, that's 4 times 4, plus double bracket, we still have our 11, plus 3 squared. 3 squared is 3 times 3, it's 9. Don't put 6, that's one of the most common mistakes. 3 squared, people put 6. 3 squared is 9, 3 times 3. Okay, we do have brackets here, so you should do this next. It's actually not going to make a difference, but you would do that if you're going to be exactly precise about this. 11 plus 9 is 20, and 16 plus 20 is 36, and that is your answer. Okay, a lot of these questions look horrible when you first see them, but if you just go step at a time, working down your page, I think you'll find that they're not as bad as they look. Okay, good luck with that, and oftentimes people do have troubles with this at first, so feel free to reach out and ask for help, and I will provide it. See you later, everyone. Bye.